Hi everybody. Can you believe it's December? Oh my, this year has just flown by. So this is our last sweet treat for the year 2021. What is a sweet treat? This is my thank you to my customers for purchasing from me. If you purchase $25 during the month, and please use the host code because that's how I keep track of who's purchasing with me. You get this sweet treat, and it's a little card kit, and gets you get to make these 2 cards. Now, I'm using the stamp set Seasons of Fun and Heartfelt Wishes because there's no sentiments on this one. Now I make this so that you don't have to use these stamp sets because I have a scallop square and I have a crumb cake circle. So you can use other stamp sets if you like. That's just what I'm using for my sample this month. Now this stamp set is a hostess stamp set, meaning you have to have at least $150 in your order or have a friend go in with you. And if you need help with doing that, I can definitely help set up a workshop order so that you and your friends can get together and you can purchase this. It's only like $12 if you purchase this stamp set. And then Heartfelt Wishes is this beautiful scripts sentiment set, and it's just gorgeous. And it's great for the holidays and some other sentiments that you can use throughout the year. And this little guy, Halloween's past, of course, but she's just a pumpkin, so she's great for fall, and he definitely is great for fall. So this is a great set to have. These are the samples of the 2 cards that I'm making, and we're going to get a little coloring on, so I think they're awesome. So we're going to start with the Early Espresso, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold it in half. And then you'll see there's a crumb cake, and we're going to put that in the bottom of our card base. Right inside, we'll stamp that again here in a minute. So set that aside for a moment, and then you have a piece of 4 by 5.25, which was the same as our inside, and this is Timber 3D. And I'm going to put the rough side up of our embossing folder, and you have a piece of DSP. This is Blackberry Beauty, and we're going to put the kind of the cinnamon cider side, and I'm going to put it right up against the edge so it's the same size for 1 inch by 4. And you have another piece of DSP. It's kind of long because it just depends on what sentiment you choose on this piece. So we're going to hold that for a moment, and we're going to stamp. Actually, I'm going to go ahead because I'm going to do all my stamping at once. So I've included this punched already, so you don't have to worry about it, but I wanted to show you this is the Lovely Labels Pick a Punch, and I'm using this punch right here. So I always turn mine over so I can see it, make sure it's lined up. So we're going to do that. We're going to stamp. I'm going to still go ahead and use Cheers just because I like that sentiment. And I got my Memento. And on the instructions it says to do this later, but I'm going to do it right now while I'm got all my ink out. And then we're going to take our little guy, and I like to ink mine upside down so that I can just make sure that sometimes my middles don't get inked very well, so I like to make sure they're good and inked. And then I'm going to kind of just make sure I have it good and centered here. And then while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on the inside, and I'm putting two together here. I'm going to put to you and yours. And then I'm going to put this wonderful season right next to it, just like that. All right, set that aside. Then I'm going to take my little guy back here, and I didn't color the leaves. I didn't feel like I needed to color all that, but I'm going to take our Stampin' Chalk marker, and I did color in this little cat white. He's peeking out of the leaf pile, and I kind of went over his face, so that's fine. And then I'm going to color stripes on this shirt. So I started with the outside and went every other one, and that let me and then I went ahead, and on this crumb cake, you really dark and light, it didn't really make a whole lot of difference. But I did use the petal pink for my skin tone here. And it looks really dark right now, but when you let it settle, it lightens up. And then I'm going to do his little shirt. And then I'm going to use Shaded Spruce for his hat and his pants. And then I used the Smoky Slate for his shoes. And then he's perfect. Okay, now this label, I'm going to take this DSP here and just put a little bit of glue. And kind of however much you want to show. But I want it to be even with that, and I got a little bit of glue there, so let me wipe some of that off. Then what I'm going to do is put my dimensionals here. I got some I like to use the edges of my dimensionals, especially in big open spaces. And put this little guy kind of towards the top, and then I'm going to take it on my label here, and this guy is going to go edge off that so I can tuck this one right on the end. Then I can trim that right along the edge. Perfect. That way everything is nice and the edges will line up so that I have a nice edge around my card. And that is card number 1. And you can see that the little guy lightened up, and that petal pink is perfect skin tone for him. All right. Card number 2 is our cherry cobbler, 8.5 by 5.5, also folded in half. This is also another horizontal card. So, scoot that aside for a second. So we're going to, we have 2 pieces, they're both 2.5 by 4. And this one, let's see, we're going to put this one down first towards that side, and then this one is going to go a little lower, but it's going to cover the top. Okay. Turn our paper over and just trim it like that. I'll add just a little bit of more tape since I pulled it up. Make sure we're going to stick. Then it can go down. Fixable. See? That tape's okay if you get to it quick enough. Just don't let it stick. And that's going to be our card front. Now your stitch square, I'm going to stamp my little girl. Now I want to stamp her clear to the left. You can either color her now, which is what I said in the instructions. So what I do is I'm going to color her shoes with the light smoky slate. And then I colored the bag with smoky slate. I also colored her skin tone with the petal pink. You could add, I didn't want to add any more colors, so you could color her hair and all that if you wanted. I just didn't choose to. Then I colored her beanie. Kind of alternated. And I did this very haphazardly here. And then the coat is the cherry cobbler, and it's light cherry cobbler with some accents. So, but I didn't want to worry about like, so I colored the whole thing because I didn't want to get all fiddly. So, and then go in and add your dark. And you know what? I'm going to add red to the star this time. That way it gives it a little accent. Now we can do our doggy. So add your doggy. And this is where I did a kind of a speckled. So take your light and your dark. Okay, not the brush tip though, you want the bullet. All right, and so add a bunch of dots, not real close together the first time. Okay, see how they're kind of, this is the light one, they're kind of spread apart. Now fill in with the dark ones. And even my dark ones aren't close together, but they're overlapping the light ones. And now I'm going to go back over with the light ones again. And now I'm not really paying attention to where I'm going, except that I'm filling in where some of the white's at. And now I'm just going to go haphazardly. All right, and that's my doggy. And I'm going to give him a little bit of a speckled. Should use the bullet, it's easier. Oh, I think I forgot his leg here. All right. That is our, now I went ahead and put this on some dimensionals. Let's use this strip that I have. All right, so put that like that, and then you will have, you probably have a longer piece, but I think I have a piece of scrap here. Let's see if I go diagonal, I think it'll fit. All right. Let me see if I have better scissors than that. Then I just trimmed right along the curves of the letters. Doesn't have to be perfect, just and then around the end of the curvature there. I actually tried to put this in my scan and cut, but because it's not connected in the middle, and I tried the whole pencil method, but yeah, that didn't work very well either. So I find it easier to fussy cut it. I thought when I bought this I could put it in my scan and cut and it would make a nice pretty cuts, but that's okay. And then I use the mini dimensionals here. You don't have to pop it up, but I just like the way that it looks with the extra dimension above it. I feel like it gives it more character, but I do feel like it needs a good amount just because the letters are kind of frail. So And then it fits like you almost need an extra one down here on this end to go double. On that one. And that is this month's sweet treat. So I hope that you like this month's sweet treat, and I hope you have a great Christmas holiday and have a safe new year, end of the year celebrations. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.